You're looking for a pool heater that actually lets you enjoy the water without spending all day worrying about whether it will work, whether it will survive a winter storm, or whether you've thrown away money on a gadget that's more hype than help. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. In the next few minutes I'm going to walk through the real-world factors that matter, the moments where a heater can make or break your summer, and why the Raypak 266000 BTU digital electronic ignition natural gas model lands where it does on the value versus risk scale. First off, the hesitation most buyers feel isn't about horsepower, it's about fit. A 266 kBTU unit sounds big, but if your pool is only 1,224 feet, you'll be paying for heat you'll never need, and you'll see a higher gas bill for no benefit. On the flip side, a family with a 2,040 feet in-ground pool in a cooler climate can end up with water that never reaches the comfortable 82 F year after if you choose a smaller heater. That mismatch is the biggest cause of buyer's remorse in the pool heater world. The category itself, natural gas pool heaters, has a few built-in trade-offs. Gas heats quickly, which is great when you're trying to get the water warm for a weekend gathering. But the fuel cost can add up, especially if you leave the heater running for long stretches. Installation is another hurdle. You need a proper gas line, a venting system, and often a professional to hook everything up safely. Weather resistance matters, too. A heater sitting on a concrete pad for 6 months of rain, snow, and sun has to stay dry and functional without rusting or warping. Raypak's 266 kBTU unit checks a lot of those boxes. The digital electronic ignition means there's no standing pilot flame burning all the time. Instead, an intermittent spark ignites the pilot only when the heater calls for heat, which saves a few dollars on gas each month and reduces the chance of a stray flame in windy conditions. The safety controls tied to that system also prevent the pilot from staying on when the thermostat isn't demanding heat, adding a layer of protection that's reassuring if you have kids or pets around the pool area. One of the more subtle strengths is the spacage material claim. In practice, that translates to a heat exchanger that cools down fast after you shut the unit off. Most older gas heaters retain heat for a while, meaning the metal housing stays scorching long after the water temperature is where you set it. With this Raypak, you can turn the heater off and walk around the unit without worrying about a hot surface. That matters for safety, especially if you have a small deck or kids who might bump into the heater while playing. Weather durability is another concrete benefit. The cabinet is coated to resist rust and UV degradation, and the internal components are sealed against moisture. I've seen owners in the Midwest report that the unit survived a full winter of snow, ice, and freezing temperatures without any corrosion or loss of performance. If you live in an area where winters are harsh, that kind of resilience saves you the headache of having to replace a heater every few years. Now, the practical drawbacks. The biggest one is the upfront cost paired with the need for professional installation. You can't just hook a gas line to the unit yourself unless you're a licensed plumber, and the venting must be done to code. That adds $500, $800 to the total expense, which can be a shock if you were only budgeting for the heater itself. Another point, because the ignition system is digital, you need a reliable power source. A simple outage can leave you without heat until the power returns, which isn't an issue for most users but can be a nuisance for a weekend pool party if the neighborhood experiences a blackout. Fuel consumption is also worth noting. At full output, a 266 kBTU heater will burn roughly 150 to 180 feet of natural gas per hour. If you run it continuously to keep the water at a high temperature, the bill climbs quickly. The trick is to use the digital thermostat wisely, set a lower target temperature during the night or when the pool isn't in use, and let the heater cycle on and off. That way you still get the rapid heating advantage without a runaway gas bill. So, who should consider this Raypak? If you have an in-ground pool between 1,530 feet and 2,040 feet, live in a region where the pool season stretches from early spring into late fall, and already have natural gas service on the property, this heater is a solid match. It's especially appealing if you